Hi, welcome back to the second installment in the leadership blog at IMD. Last time I talked about the different elements of the leadership stream for our MBA, the personal professional identity narrative, the long essay we have to write before we start the MBA, the experientials we do, the essays that follow them, and our sessions with the psychoanalysts. We're now in South Africa, straight after our 3-week holiday, and we have our PPIN deadline due, the rewrite due just after we get back. And whilst I had every intention of writing it on holiday, I actually found that I needed to take the 3 weeks because the learning experience at IMD, both on the professional but on the personal side, has been quite exhaustive for the first 6 months. On the other hand, playing with my son every day was brilliant, and spending time with the family has refreshed me. And now in South Africa, it's even inspired me to start up again and focus on the learning again. So we were in Soweto just the other day on a bicycle tour, and we were at Nelson Mandela's house, and I just want to paraphrase a quote from the wall of his house. In judging our progress as individuals, we tend to concentrate on external factors, such as one's position, wealth, etc. But internal factors may be even more crucial in assessing one's development as a human being. Humility, generosity, absence of vanity, and readiness to serve your fellow men. This kind of development is what IMD focuses on in the leadership stream. And it's not through some kind of cliched talks, but through an extensive process of writing, for example, the PPIN, which is, as I said, almost as long as a master's dissertation, through which you really cannot hide from your progress to develop the kinds of character described by Nelson Mandela. Half of the IMD MBA is hard facts, and some professors, for example, our economics and finance professor, they bat us down in class if our contributions are not grounded in quantitative facts. But the great thing is that at IMD, everyone recognizes the importance of the intangible as well, or at least that in making a decision, you are never in possession of all the information at once. And therefore you also have to be aware that your personal biases and views will influence your decision-making process. This morning, I had another fantastic inspirational experience. A small group of us went to Grace Bible Church in Soweto, which has a congregation of 10,000. So really the pastor of this church is the equivalent of a CEO of a large public company, except that he has to prove himself every week in front of his whole congregation, and people put their faith in him and his leadership because of the way he behaves and inspires them. It further inspired me to write this blog today, as I started to understand, I think, better what it means to lead in context. For the people of Soweto, the church represents perhaps the same aspect of our lives that we're learning on the leadership stream, and why we will make decisions when, and the influence of our own selves on it. Some would talk about spirituality, others ethical leadership, or triple bottom line. But in all senses, it's about what the individual will do in a given situation based on their own personal perspective. As I was standing outside the church waiting for the others to come back, even though I don't think any of us go to church really at all regularly, the first thing anyone said was how much of a leader the guy had been, the pastor, inspirational, fantastic communication, and I think that we've learnt a lot from that, and we can transfer some of that to hopefully our work in businesses and other organizations in the future. Thanks. And I hope you've enjoyed this one. Next time I will actually hopefully have written some of the PPIN, so I'll try and talk a bit about that.